Today we are looking at the Lubuntu 23.10. So let's quickly boot it in a live boot. So this is a boot menu. So let's boot it in a live boot first. And I'm using it on a VMware, which is a virtualization with 60 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM, and my CPU is 12 Gen i5. So Lubuntu and Ubuntu flavors, all the things released today. So I'll be making all that videos in a few days. Today I'll be making a Lubuntu and Ubuntu Cinnamon. If you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching the Lubuntu video. There's already Ubuntu Cinnamon 23.10 in the channel. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out. So here is our Lubuntu desktop. So let me first open the system monitor. And here are all the things you should see first while launching the Linux. Here is the CPU, here is the memory. It's using a 547 MB right now of 4 GB of RAM. Here is the swap, and uptime is 2 minutes 4 seconds. So these are all the processes running right now, as you can see. So let me put it in the corner throughout the video so you can see everything what's going on here. So let's change the display resolution first. Let's go to preference, LXQt settings, and it should be here. I think it should be in let's go to monitors. Here it is, monitor settings. Let me first change the display resolution 1920 into 1080. Okay, let's close this thing. Let me open the internet, which is a Firefox web browser. Let me take you to their official website and show what are the new changes or the new features in the Lubuntu 23.10. So this is the new wallpaper, which is Mantic Monitor of 23.10. So keep an eye on the CPU and the RAM, and you can see it's almost 853 MB. Let's check the Firefox web browser. It's 118 and it's a 0.1 update. So let's type in about. So these are all the information. If you want, you can check that out. Let me go through all these things. So if you want to read everything, you can pause the video and read everything. If you want to slow it down, you can slow it down in the YouTube settings if you want. So I'm doing this because it's going to take a lot of time. So that's the reason I'm fast forwarding everything. So let's go to their official website first. Let me type in some search engine. So let's type in the search term, which is Lubuntu. So this is the official website, which is lubuntu.me. You can directly type it like this. So this is the official website. Let's go to the downloads. Here it is, 23.10, new stable release, supported until July 2024. So if you want LTS, you need to go with the 22.04.3. So if you want to just test it, you can test it. And the LXQt version is a 1.3.0. I'm going to show you everything. So let's go to the release notes. So here it is, support lifespan, already showed it here, July 2024. So these are all the new changes. If you want, you can read it here, which is LXQt 1.3.0, Qt 5.15.0, and Mozilla Firefox as shipped in the snap packages. The latest version is 118. I already showed that. LibreOffice version is a 7.6 Office Suite. VLC is a 3.0.18. Featherpad is a 1.3.5, and Software Center, which is a 5.27.8. So this is a stable ISO file. If you want to download, you can download, and if you want to read everything, you can read by going to their official website. So let me close it. If you want to download it, you can download it with desktop 64-bit, or you can choose the torrent. This is a HTTPS and this is a torrent. Let me download and show you what the file size. The file size is around like a 2.8 GB. So that's the downloading process, and that was the release notes. Let me close the browser and let's open the terminal. Before that, let's check the LXQt version. As you can see, they mentioned LXQt version is 1.3.0. As you can see, let's close this thing. Let's go to the terminal. Let's check the version 1.3.0. Okay. About Qt, here is the version of the Qt 5.15.10. Let's type in some of the commands. For example, inxi. So I already mentioned my CPU is a 12 gen i5 1240p, and I'm using a 4 GB of RAM for the virtualization. It's almost 1 GB of RAM, and the inxi version is 3.3.29, and process running right now are 249. So the latest kernel version is a 6.5.0, which is included in all the Ubuntu flavors. So for the storage, I already mentioned it's 60 GB. I'm choosing the 60 GB for my VMware. So let's type in another command, which is inxi-small b. Hit enter. So host, it says as a Lubuntu because it's a Ubuntu flavor of and this is the Lubuntu distro. And the kernel already mentioned 64-bit, and the desktop environment is a LXQt version 1.3.0 already mentioned, and distro it says as a Ubuntu 23.10 Mantic Miniature. So this is a flavor of Ubuntu, that's the reason it says as a Ubuntu 23, and the code name for the 23.10 is Mantic Miniature. So I'm using it in a VMware, so it says as a VMware Phoenix version 6.00, VM WGFX version 2.20.0, and display is X11 server Xorg version 1.21.1.7. So my display resolution is 1920 into 1080 with a 60 Hz. OpenGL version is 4.3. Mesa is 23.2.1, and process 249, and uptime is 8 minutes. So let's type in another command, inxi-G, hit enter. So these are some of the other information which is already present in the top side here. So let's type in cat:/etc/issue and hit enter. It says as a Ubuntu 23.10. So let's type in another command, which is inxi-sv8. Hit enter. This is the command which will grab complete information of the distro. So every information will be here. Let me scroll it up and show you everything. So the distro name, the kernel, 64-bit, LXQt desktop environment, the main base, Ubuntu. I'm using in a VMware. So it says machine, memory, slots, CPU. You can pause the video and read everything if you want to get the complete information. Graphics. So here is the complete information of graphics, display, monitor. These are all the available resolutions for the monitor. And OpenGL. Here is the complete information. Audio is a ELSA version K6. Here is the version if you want to know the version. And the Piper version is a 0.3.79. So pretty much everything will be here. So if you want read everything, you can pause the video or just slow down the video in the YouTube settings, like a playback speed. Change the playback speed to from 1.0 to 0.25, and you can see everything and read everything here. So these are all the information of the distro. So let's type in desktop finally. So this is the desktop for some of the viewers who want to see the desktop. So let's close this thing. So let's I think let's try to type in like a install, whether they fixed or not. They didn't fix still. As you can see, there are two installers, like install Lubuntu 23.10 and there is a install system. So they still not fixed that. So let's open the installer by double clicking. So here are the panels options. You can customize everything. So these are all the common things. There are not changed in any version. So these are all the same things as in the previous version. So I don't think I need to show that. So let's see, after we have any time, I'm going to show you everything. So Calamares installer is a 3.3.0 alpha 2 for the Lubuntu. So this is a stable release. If you want to install it on your hard disk, you can. If you don't want, if you want to try it. So my opinion or my suggestion is always to first live boot. After you're satisfied with using the live boot, then go with the installation. So whether if you find any bugs in the live boot, you can just wait for the point updates and other versions. So it's always a good option to first live boot first and then go with the installation. So it's almost the same installer or the installation methods. So there is nothing changed here. So first you need to choose your language. There are plenty of languages available here. Click on next. And here is the location. You can just point out in the map, or you can just use the drop down menu if you want. You can choose it anything you want. You don't need to provide the actual location. You can provide any location if you want. So here are some of the customization. If you want to customize, you can customize these things. After you're satisfied, let's click on next. So you need to choose your keyboard. Mine is Dell. You can choose your keyboard right here. There are plenty of options or the models available there. So choose your language for the keyboard. I'm choosing the English United States and the default one. There are other options too, as you can see, Russian, Hawaiian, all these things. I'm choosing the default one. Click on next. So here if you want to choose the if you want to choose to install in your main disk or a main hard disk, you can choose it right here. If you're using as a VMware like me, you can just choose the VMware. If you have multiple hard disk, you need to choose the right one, because it's going to delete everything if you choose the erase disk. So be careful while choosing this thing. And here are the options. If you want, you can customize these things. Not the customize these things, these are the options you can choose, like a AXT4, BTRFS, XFS. You can choose anything you want. And here is the manual partitioning, which is for the dual boot. If you have like a other operating system like a Windows or other any operating system, you can choose for the dual boot operating systems. So I'm just choosing the erase disk. If you want to encrypt your system, you just need to provide the password, which should be same in both the boxes. So these are all the basic things you already know, no need to show you. But for some viewers who are just like a new for the Linux, that's the reason I'm going to show this. And here is the bootloader location. If you want to do that later, you can do that later. If you want to choose the default one, you can choose it. If you want any other options here, you can choose that one too. After you're satisfied with everything, just click on next. You need to provide your username, password, all the things for the computer name, all the things. So let me type in something, for example, runboxing. So I'm choosing the computer name as a runboxing. You need to provide the strong password and remember the password. The password should be same in the both the boxes. If everything is going good, you should be seeing a tick mark. If anything is wrong, it should be given as the cross mark or into mark. So these are all the things. Click on next. So this is the summary of whatever you choose in the previous installation steps. So after you're satisfied with the click on install, and it's going to install the Lubuntu 23.10 in your operating system in the hard disk. Whether if you choose the VMware, it should be installed on your VMware, whether you choose the main hard disk, it should be installed in your main hard disk. So that's the installation process. I'm not going to install it because I want to make another video of Ubuntu Cinnamon 23.10. That's the reason I'm not going to install. So that's the installation process. Let me open some of the customization options like a desktop wallpapers, all these things. So here are some of the customization for your desktop. You can customize anything. So these are all the wallpapers. There is nothing more in the wallpapers because just a few wallpapers, like 3 wallpapers, but these are all the same wallpapers. So you don't have new things other than this wallpapers. So let's close these things. Here are the customization of the desktop, which were already available in the previous version, so no need to see all these things. So here is the panel. Let's check out some of the configuration panel. So for the styling, here are the options, widgets. These are all completely customizable. It's clearly up to you to customize it or not, or just keep it like default. So date and time, task manager or the CPU, notifications, internet connection, clipboard, about clipper. Here is the version of the clipper, volume customizations. So that's it. So let's open some of the applications, like let's open like a 10 to 12 apps and let's see whether it crashes or not. It's a stable ISO, so we don't see any crashes or anything like that. So let's try it. Let's open calculator. Let's open like a bunch of applications. Games, we don't have any games. LX image. Under the graphics, let's open the LibreOffice. Screen grab, Scanlight, internet. Let's open QSL IRC. Office, we already opened the LibreOffice, so let's open QPDF view. Let's open VLC media player. Let's open Discover. KDE partition manager, and move on package manager. Under preference, we don't have anything, so let's open software sources. I think that's it. Let's go to the system monitor or a task manager. So CPU is around like a 20%. Memory is almost 1.5 GB, which is pretty much high when compared to other desktop environments. Usually the LXQt desktop environment shouldn't use like 1000 MB or 1 GB, but the new version is almost like a 1540 MB, which is 1.5 GB almost, and cache is 2210 MB. As you can see, buffer is 1 MB, swap is here, and we almost using the Linux distro for up to 21 minutes. It's almost 21 minutes of using this Linux distro, which is a Lubuntu 23.10. And here is the RAM. We almost opened like 1 2 3 4 5 6, almost like 11 apps. So this is the result. RAM is almost 1.5 GB, which is still good when compared to other desktop environments. But I was not expecting like a 1.5 GB. It should be like a 1.1 or a 1 GB usually in the older version of Lubuntu LXQt. But right now, as you can see, it's almost a 1500 MB. So let's close all the things. So we didn't see any crashes or anything like a lag or anything in the opening process. Everything was smooth. That's pretty good. So if you're having like a 2 GB of RAM, I think it should be good to use this Linux distro. So before installing, try to use it in a live boot first. So if you didn't see any lag or anything like that, you can go with the Lubuntu. So it's still good. It's almost a 1.5 GB. And if you have like a 2 GB of RAM, you should be having like a 1.8 GB usable. So that's for the lightweight desktop environments. I think it's going to work for the low-end PCs. So let's get back to the applications. So these are all the customization for the softwares. So you can choose from the main server or other things, other software updates. You can customize these things, authentication, additional drivers. Let's close this thing. Let's check the LibreOffice version 7.6, which was already mentioned in the official website of the Lubuntu. So all the changes are here. So let's close the LibreOffice. So VLC Media Player was also mentioned in the official website release notes. So here is the version. So the version should be same. If you want to check that out, you can just open the official website and check the version. It should be same. Scanlight, screen grab. So you can change the settings if you want. Let's check the about version. Here is the version. Let's even close this thing. So image viewer, here is the version Qt 1.3.0. So file manager, which is a Pacman or a PCman, FMQT 1.3.0. So let's check the version of QCell 0.14.0, version date 2022. So let's close this thing. KDE partition manager, about KDE partition. So here is the version. Let's even close the partition manager here. PDF view version 0.5.0. Let's even close this thing. Featherpad 1.3.5, which was already mentioned in the release notes. So here is the version, which is same and which should be same. Let's check the package manager, move on package manager version 5.8.0. So installed version will be highlighted with the green mark, as you can see. Let me scroll it down. So if you want to see it in the slow, you can change the playback speed to 0.25, which should be default 1.0, and change it to 0.25, and you should be seeing all the installed packages. I'm making this because already mentioned it's going to make a lengthy video. That's the reason I'm scrolling down very fast. So there are 3 updates. Here are the updates. The file size is around like a 145 KB. You can update it if you want. Discover 5.27.8. The version was already mentioned in the release notes. So some of the customizations, if you want to customize, you can customize the settings. Installed, these are all the installed. Home. So let's close this thing. let's check the calculator version. I think we pretty much covered everything, so there is nothing left here. I already showed everything, so I think let's end the video here. So at the end of the video, the CPU is almost 10%, system is 5.5%, memory used is 1 GB, almost more than 1 GB. 1024 is the 1 GB, and 104 MB is used right now for 4 GB. Swap is here. Uptime almost, we pretty much used almost like a 27 minutes. So we didn't see any crashes or we didn't see any freeze in the Linux distro. Everything worked pretty much smoothly because this is a stable ISO file. So if you want to use this or install it in your hard disk, you can do that. So this is a stable release. So if you have still doubt, you can just use the live boot for a few hours, like a 1 day or maybe like a 7 to 8 hours. If you didn't find any crashes or anything, you can go with the installation. So if you want to check out other Ubuntu Cinnamon 23.10, I already made a video on that. You can check that out in my channel. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.